Hello, I am Max from Test Drive Blogs, and today let's have a look at another car that I've been wanting to film for a long time. This is a 1989 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. This Grand Wagoneer is finished in the white exterior with the fake wood on the sides and a maroon leather interior. The Grand Wagoneer is basically a luxury SUV from Jeep from the 70s and early 90s. So, of course, you have all the power options that you'd expect, with your power mirror controls right here, power window controls and power locks, door handle here, and a handle pull on here. Wood grain coming across the whole entire dash. And so we're going to take the key. And fire it up. Let's close the door and check out the rest of the interior. For being from 1989, this truck has a lot of options on it. Starting on the left here, you have your headlight controls and your rear window controls here, which you have defrost or your up and down controls, which you can also do via a key in the lock on the back door. Gauges, you do have a fuel gauge, temperature gauge, 100 mile per hour speedometer in the middle. This truck does have 103,000 miles on it. Oil pressure gauge and voltage gauge on the far right, with a digital clock down below. Gear indicator. Windshield wipers, as well as cruise control on the end of the stalk here. Horn in the middle of the steering wheel with no airbag. Two-spoke design. Fog light controls down to the right of the steering wheel, with your four-wheel drive controls underneath that. Climate control right here. Stock radio. Very simple to use. Power button, AM, FM. It is a cassette player. 5 presets, bass and treble, and your cassette controls on the far right there. Glove box in the center of the dash. All your vents are down below, but you do actually have some for defrost as well on top of the dashboard. We have a center console, which folds up for a third seat in the front. Manually dimming rearview mirror with an information center and your overhead console. Some lights, garage door opener, storage, where basically you just stick it up there and you have these little pins that you set on top of this and you just push up and it'll open your garage door for you. And sunglasses storage right behind that. And so let's go and do a light demonstration. And let's go and check out the outside. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer was a luxury SUV produced by AMC and then later Chrysler from 1984 to 1991. After Chrysler bought AMC in 1987, they didn't really change that much with the Wagoneers. They kept the same engine, which was carbureted all the way until 1991, and made a few styling changes on the exterior such as the grille and other little pieces, but mainly kept the same design for the Grand Wagoneer. As mentioned before, the Grand Wagoneer did have a cool feature of the rear window on the very back of the car would slide up and down for easier access into the back. So it could actually have a regular tailgate and not have to deal with the glass flipping wherever, or barn doors. All Grand Wagoneers featured 4 doors while the Cherokee could be had in a two-door such as the Cherokee XJ of later years. Later Grand Wagoneers came with these cool alloy wheels running on 235/75 R15 tires. Hood poppers right down here. All Jeep Grand Wagoneers came standard with an AMC design 360 cubic inch V8 engine, which, as I mentioned before, only came with a 2-barrel carburetor. No Grand Wagoneers ever came from the factory with fuel injection. I can't exactly find any specs on horsepower or torque on the internet for these, but I'd say it's probably 200-ish, 200, 250, somewhere in there for both horsepower and torque. And so let's open the passenger side. Minus the extra window controls, door panels are basically the same on the passenger side. And so let's check out the back seat. Back of the seats are all padded with carpet. Decent amount of legroom. Seats are actually very, very comfortable. You can also flip the seats forward. And open the back. Just put the rear window down using the switch right here. Grab the handle on the inside here and pull back. Doors all padded. Do you have speakers back here as well? As well as your spare tire and wheel, which are full size. And so, let's go and take it for a drive. So you might think, oh man, driving a big old SUV like a Grand Wagoneer must be a pain because it just looks gigantic, it looks like you take up the entire road. But it's funny because it seems like it's not nearly as wide as it actually is whenever you're actually driving. I don't know how to really explain it besides what I just said. It's actually just really simple to cruise down the road. Of course, it has power steering, power brakes, all the fancy schmancy features that you would expect or that you would want on a luxury SUV, and those definitely are very nice to have. I can admit that. The automatic transmission shifts perfectly fine. It's not really a performance vehicle, so you wouldn't expect like super fast shifts or anything, but it shifts your other gears perfectly fine. It's really nice to drive. Now, one thing I didn't really expect at all with these Grand Wagoneers, I've driven two now. I drove a 1991 Final Edition a while ago, which wasn't quite as nice as this one that you see in this video. But after driving both of those, the steering is extremely tight. Like, I find myself actually oversteering or steering way too much just trying to turn around a turn on a road or whatever. It wasn't a bad thing, definitely not. And they actually have a really small turning radius, which is extremely surprising. You wouldn't have expected a very simple 3-point turn in the middle of a road, which I did with the last one. So overall, I really want one. I really do. I really like these cars. They're kind of expensive, but I don't know. I'm gonna try and find one in the future. So hope you all enjoyed this tour of the 1989 Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Be sure to check out MotoeXotica's info in the description below. And I'm out of here. See ya!